Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and fellow adventurers on the journey of life. My name's Andrea Young, and I'm a rising sophomore here at SHSID. I am here today as an ordinary teenager, nor as talented or intelligent or gifted or influential as everyone around me. But I believe that I am here today and as a testament to the transformative power of passion, perseverance, and the pursuit of diverse experiences. I do not have the power to teach anyone here how to draw, or how to get better at badminton or soccer, or how to plan any trip around the world, because I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But I am here because I want to try to teach you how to borrow from those experiences and incorporate it into your art. Because I believe that 15 years of living and doodling has taught me a thing or two. You might be saying, well, this is going to be an irrelevant speech. I only know how to draw stick men. My sons look like a circle in 8 lines, and I draw grass by coloring up the bottom of the page green. You might be saying my clouds look like mold infestations, and my flowers look like carnivorous plants. Listen, I get it. Let me introduce you to 9-year-old me. This was at a fancy restaurant in Montreal that I probably had no business being in, let alone drawing on the paper placemats with crayons. Back then, all I knew was that I liked to draw because it was liberating and it killed time. But what I drew on that placemat, that lamb shepherd's pie, looked more like it had been digested, excreted, and then put back onto the plate. But from this, I realized something. The idea that you're born with the talent to create masterpieces, or you're doomed to stick figures forever, is a total myth. Let me break it down for you. Think about any skill you've ever developed, whether it's learning a musical instrument, learning how to cook, or learning a new language. Did you start as a prodigy? Probably not. You started with the basics, you failed, you continued to go, and then you gradually got better with practice. Drawing is no different. So yes, maybe right now your sons look more like lopsided octopi, and your bushes resemble fluffy green blobs. It's okay. Every artist, yes, even the famous ones, started somewhere. The key is not to compare yourself to some abstract idea of perfection, but to embrace the process of improvement. It is also worth noting that drawing isn't about replicating reality. It's about expressing yourself, telling stories, and capturing emotions. It's about seeing the world through your unique lens and translating that onto paper. And that is what I believe everyone here has the ability to do. This is what I drew the summer of 2020. The summer that I really started committing myself to this long and grueling process of trial and error. I started with noses. Yes, human noses. After watching a video titled something along the lines of How to Draw Human Noses 101. And then I went on to human eyes, human ears. I skipped the mouth because I thought it was too hard, and I went on to dogs. And then I drew Lilo, I drew Stitch, and I drew 2 out of the 7 dwarves at a Hong Kong airport while waiting for a transfer. I drew my friends and family in a caricature-like style, and then I drew more dogs. And this new hobby / passion / excitement stemmed from these very first drawings. And this isn't the cliche, practice makes perfect, because there's no perfect in art. Who's to say that a banana taped to a wall is bad art, while Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is good art? There's no such thing to the audience. To the artist as well. It's a struggle everyone faces. the nagging imposter syndrome that makes you feel like you're not good enough despite repeated validation. This is something I made during optional class. Accepting praise for this work feels elusive when my own critical eye fixates on the perceived imperfections, which is that little scratch right there on the star that I made in my woodcut. Yet, I need to remind myself that these imperfections are integral to our humanity, reminding us that art at its core is a reflection of our journey and our growth. And also, there's no right person for art. There was this boy in my class that once told me, "Wait, you can draw? I thought you played soccer." Yeah. When I heard that, I was very confused, but at the same time, I was amused. Because just because I play soccer, does that not mean I can draw? And just because I have one passion and one talent that is active and outgoing, does it not mean I can sit in a studio and paint? Just because in SHSID, this is considered boyish, and that means I cannot, experience and interpret beauty. Does that mean that boys cannot do art? No. Everyone can do art. There are no restrictions to being an artist. Now that we got that over with, what exactly is inspiration? Artistic inspiration is a profound force that ignites creativity within artists, compelling them to delve into the depths of their imagination and produce meaningful artworks. It often manifests as a surge of emotion, an experience that triggers a chain reaction of ideas and expressions. At least that's that is my best definition for what I experience. Inspiration can stem from anywhere: the beauty of nature, the complexity of human emotions, societal issues, or even personal struggles. It's more than just the motivation to draw. It's allowing artists to put their inspiration, their thoughts, and their innermost feelings into tangible forms. And artistic inspiration isn't about the big moments. It's about finding beauty and meaning in everything. Whether it's the skies changing colors, the dance of the clouds, the transformation of the trees through the seasons, or the emotions carried by people around us. These subtle details and these hidden emotions are like hidden treasures waiting for us to be discovered. It's in these ordinary yet remarkable elements of life that artistic inspiration finds its richest expressions. In addition, drawing is a process that requires heightened level of engagement with your surroundings. Unlike snapping a quick photograph, where you passively observe, drawing allows you to notice nuances of light and shadow, the details of textures, and the subtle changes in perspective, and you put this into your art, which makes you think about what to include, what to emphasize, and what to simplify. This process is inherently mindful and interpretive, and it fosters a deeper connection with your surroundings and your inner self. These are a couple more of my sketches. I love these ones in particular because it makes me feel the relaxation and content the seconds and minutes my pen was touching the paper. This drawing on the top left is from reference photographs of my parents and my sister and myself when we were in South Africa. And we all have smiles on our faces, and I drew it because I thought it was beautiful. This sketchbook spread in the middle originated as me trying to teach my family how to draw. We were in a bungalow in South Africa. It was during load shedding, which meant that electricity was out for an hour or two. And it also meant that we were huddled around the dining table, illuminated by our phone flashlights and the dimming sky, and they were watching me try to explain form with shapes, and they were trying to draw their best flamingo. The house drawn here is based off a reference photo when I was taking my 20-day trip to Korea to relearn my heritage. And I had no reason to draw this. It looked aesthetic in my photo album, and I was probably just needing a mean of escapism. That stingray up there was one that I was supposed to see when I was scuba diving 15 meters underwater, but clumsy old me kept kicking up sand at the bottom of the shipwreck, and I couldn't see a thing. So this was a drawing based off of my vague memory of that day. And this last sketch, which was on a plane, reminds me and reminds everyone here that drawing doesn't need to be at a studio. It can be anywhere. Because when I was drawing this, I was evidently on a plane. So next time you pick up a pencil and you feel that familiar pang of doubt, remember that you're not just drawing. You're building the artistic muscle. You're honing a skill that with patience and perseverance will grow stronger every day. You're keeping a physical record of how your perspective of the world has broadened, and this is a visual representation of your emotions, your interpretations, and your life. This sketchbook right here is what I consider my holy grail. And everyone can have one too, because the artist in you is to be determined by you. Anyone can draw. Everyone can draw. It's not about where you start, it's about where you're willing to go. Thank you.